Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another vlog. I've decided I'm gonna do kind of a week-long reading vlog because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do for the week that this video will be coming out. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I figured I just do a reading vlog. So it is Monday morning and I have several things that I want to make progress on. Obviously starting this vlog. I also have a client project that I'm working on. So I have a kind of goal where I want to reach for that. And then I also need to film a video today in order for it to be up and ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's posting because normally I post on Tuesdays. So I need to film that today. And then we'll see if I edit it or not. I'm not sure if I will get to that. I have a couple of chores around the house that I need to get done. But in terms of what I'm currently reading, I am currently 100 pages into You Let Me In by Camilla Bruce. It's a very short book. It's under 300 pages. It's about 250, 256, something like that. And I am 100 pages in, and I am really enjoying this. So it's not what I expected it to be. I had it pitched to me as fantasy horror fantasy, that kind of a thing, but the way that the back explains it, it says You Let Me In delivers a stunning tale from debut author Camilla Bruce, combining the sinister domestic atmosphere of Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects with the otherworldly thrills of Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane. Because they used The Ocean at the End of the Lane as a description of kind of the fantasy aspects, I didn't think that the fantasy was going to be so outright and clear cut and very visible, and it is. It really took me by surprise, but I am absolutely loving it. I'm gonna read you the back because I think it does a very, very good job of explaining what this book is about without giving away kind of the fun surprising aspects that are right in the beginning. So it says, Cassandra Tipp is dead, or is she? After all, the notorious recluse and eccentric best-selling novelist has always been prone to flights of fancy, and everyone in town remembers the shocking events leading up to Cassie's infamous trial. She may have been acquitted, but the insanity defense only stretches so far. Cassandra Tipp has left behind no body, just her massive fortune and one final manuscript. Then again, there are enough bodies in her past. Her husband, Tommy Tipp, whose mysterious disembowelment has never been solved, and a few years later, the shocking murder-suicide of her father and brother. Cassandra Tipp will tell you a story, but it will come with a terrible price. What really happened out there in the woods, and who has Cassie been protecting all along? Read on if you dare. Right now, these first 100 pages, it specifically even the first 70 pages gives very strong vibes of Guillermo del Toro's movie Pan's Labyrinth. So if you've ever seen that movie, I got the same just atmosphere and vibes as that movie. Kind of. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. I particularly love Camilla Bruce's writing style. It's beautiful, but and for some reason the best way I can describe it is that I want to eat her writing. I want to eat her words. They're so just juicy. I don't know. They're so good. I'm really, really enjoying this. So obviously I'm going to make progress on this today. But yeah, this is what I'm reading. This is what we're starting the vlog out with. Wow. Okay. So I'm reading this, right? And I really haven't gotten that much further. I've gotten maybe 40 pages through, a little under 40 pages further. I'm a little over halfway through, just over halfway through. And this was already a dark book. It's a horror book with fantastical elements. It was already dark, but it just got even darker, and it just solidified something that I wasn't sure about. Basically, we're kind of following this story, and our narrator is telling it with a very fantastical lens that the way she's telling it up until you reach this one point, you think it's a fantasy story, that what she's experiencing and what she's explaining she's experiencing is actually happening. But nobody else can see it because she just has like a special sight, you know? And I'm trying not to spoil this, but basically we now have it confirmed that she is basically experiencing two separate things and keeping them in her head separate. This is a little bit of a spoiler, I guess. Her perception of things is dark. What's actually happening is also very dark. But the way it was revealed of like our understanding of what she's perceiving and what's happening and things like that was very powerfully done. This book comes with a host of trigger warnings, so I would definitely look them up prior to reading this. But yeah, I just wanted to come in and update that, like, wow, this is rough. This is sad, and Camilla Bruce, her writing is just like, I'm really, really impressed. Hello, so it is Tuesday evening and my lighting in here is extra bad, which is why I usually don't try to do vlog updates at night, but I just finished You Let Me In by Camilla Bruce, and wow. I don't know what I can tell you, like what I can talk about, because this book, it's under 300 pages. It's like 250 pages long, but it's incredible. Like, I was so impressed with how Camilla Bruce took this story and handled a lot of things, and like just the way she explained things and the way that she really had us waffling back and forth on the perspective of things. And it's one of those books that takes that trope of like, you're not sure what's real and what's not. And like, I feel like a lot of times that element of a story can be overdone, overused, but Camilla Bruce used it so well. She took it and she just kind of like added certain elements to that what's real, what's not aspect, and made it so that you have to believe both. You have to believe both things are happening, and I was just really impressed. This is a horrific story. I mean, it's a horror novel, but it's sad horror. Like, it's actually really heartbreaking horror. But yeah, I was so impressed, and Camilla Bruce's writing style just like haunting writing, but so gorgeous. I was so impressed with this book. I'm giving it a 4.5 instead of a 5, because there were just like a couple very tiny elements of the book that I was just kind of like, meh, no. It's kind of just very small things that really don't matter. They kind of irritated me. But yeah, no, this was incredible. So I highly recommend this, but check the trigger warnings, and if you have any sort of like trauma that you've been through, check the trigger warnings, because there's a boatload of very dark things that happen in this book. I have In the Garden of Spite in my pile somewhere, which is also by Camilla Bruce. I don't think I'm going to read that right away, but I do have it to kind of continue checking out her works. I also think she's going to be coming out with another book beginning of next year, if I heard right. I haven't looked into it, but I'm definitely going to look into it because this was phenomenal. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. On my stack, I kind of like set aside some books that like I knew I wanted to get to this month. I didn't do an October TBR because I really was waffling a lot of like what I actually wanted to read, but I set aside like stuff I really want to get to, stuff that I'm considering getting to, and then like everything else. I definitely want to do like another horror, and here I have several horror and some like murder mysteries. I just don't know which one, so I'm gonna think on it a bit, but by the time I update again, you will know which one I picked. Hello again. So it's currently Wednesday morning, and I'm getting ready to head out to the library to work on some stuff, but I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. So I did start Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misfortunes by Eric LaRocca. So this is a bind up of Eric LaRocca's like first I guess his first novella to really like kickstart him in like making a name for himself in the horror genre. I know he published a lot of short stories within magazines and things like that, but and he may have published a few other things. I was kind of looking at his backlog, but Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke kind of made a big enough splash on the internet that really kind of brought his name into I guess my circle of vision for authors. I'm sure people have known about him before that, but it made a big enough splash that he republished it in this bind up along with two other novella short stories. I think one is more of a short story, and the other looked to be about the length of a novella. So there's, and those two have never been published before as far as I'm aware. So this has got Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, The Enchantment, and you'll find it's like that all over. It looks like based on their lengths, The Enchantment is another novella, and then you'll find it's like that all over. It looks to be more of a short story. I am a little nervous about this because to my understanding, I think he deals more in like the splatter horror, which is not something that I'm super well versed in and not something that I've ever really like gravitated towards, but I've just been super curious about this author. I don't know, something about him, I'm just like, I just want to read one of his works, and I happened to actually see this bind up. I saw it advertised, but then I actually saw it in one of my favorite independent bookstores in the city that I live in, and I was like, oh, I need to pick it up. I need to pick it up. And they do this little thing where they put like little sticky notes on some of the books. Like the people that work there will like put little notes trying to entice you to read it. And the sticky note on this one said, "You'll never look at an apple peeler the same." So quite curious about that. The apple peeler's already made an appearance, but so far there's nothing like sinister about it. There's just this weird like very in-depth history behind this apple peeler. But I've only gotten really just a little bit in, like 20-25 pages in. I didn't read that much this morning before I started to get working on things, but I'm feeling like very restless, and the other day I went to the library and it really helped me focus, so I'm gonna go back this morning. But I did just want to give you a little bit of an update. I actually am gonna read the inside cover because it does give you like a very brief little snippet of what each of these stories in here is about, and that's all that I know. What's in here is all that I know, and I think that it does a good job of just giving you just like a little taste. So it says, a whirlpool of darkness churns at the heart of a macabre ballet between two lonely young women in an internet chat room in the early 2000s. A darkness that threatens to forever transform them once they finally succumb to their most horrific desires. A couple isolate themselves on a remote island in an attempt to recover from their teenage son's death, when a mysterious young man knocks on their door during a storm. And a man confronts his neighbor when he discovers a strange object in his backyard, only to be drawn into an even more dangerous game. 3 devastating, beautifully written horror stories from one of the genre's most cutting-edge voices. What have you done to deserve your eyes today? That like last line, when I read that on the inside, I was like, I already wanted to pick this up, but when I read it on the inside cover, I was like, oh, yes, solidified it. So anyway, that's my plan, is obviously to read this later tonight, but to go to the library and hopefully finish the client project that I'm working on. That's the goal. So we will see. Hi. Okay, I need to give an update. So I'm reading Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, and Other Misfortunes, but I'm reading, it's the first story is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, and I am this far into the book. I have maybe 30 pages left in the first story. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this. This is disgusting. This is the most disgusting and disturbing story I've ever read. And like, I haven't read a lot of horror. Hold on, my fan is going on. Okay, sorry. I realized my fan was going. Yeah, I haven't read like an abundance of horror, but like I read a fair amount. And this, I like physically gagged while reading the most recent part that I'm reading in this. There was like 2 other parts in here. This is not a long book. This is not long. But there was already 2 other parts besides the part where I'm like physically gagging and had to look away from the page in order to like center myself. There were 2 other parts where I'm sitting there and I'm just like ready to just like close this book or burst into tears or both. I knew going into this that it was going to be a hard read for me. I was worried about that, which is why like I've been hesitant to pick up Eric LaRocca's works. But I've just been so curious, and now I'm kind of wishing I didn't pick this up, because I don't know if I can do it, guys. I have 30 pages left in this first novella in here. I'm gonna finish it tonight, but I needed to like update you while I was reading this. So like, I don't think this is for me at all. I don't think it's for me. But I'm gonna finish the first one, and I'll update you guys probably tomorrow when I finish it. I plan to read, for clarification's sake, I do plan to read this entire book, but I don't think that this is the subgenre of horror for me. Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday! It's somebody's birthday today. What are we doing today?
Nothing.
No! We're going to Devil's Lake to go hiking because this man is a wilderness explorer and we need to help him practice his hiking. But yeah, we're gonna go hike. Hold on, I'll turn. Hi. This is not the same pink shirt that I wore yesterday. I just want to make that clear. This is a different light pink shirt.
Your viewers have no concept of your timeline.
Oh, it's Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Today's Thursday.
I was saying you could just not mention it.
Oh, well. Well, they saw. No, because I updated the vlog last night. And it was very obviously nighttime. So anyway, we're going to Devil's Lake. And gonna go do some hiking. It's kind of a longer hike, so I'm not nervous at all because I'm gonna do great and I can do it.
I'm nervous.
He's nervous for me. He's not nervous for himself. He's nervous for me. But I will be fine. It'll be great. I'm excited. And it's his birthday, so it's the best day of the year. It's my favorite day of the year because it's Connor's birthday. So so we're gonna go do that, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update that that's the big plan for today is hiking and then potentially seeing a movie. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that because we got a really late start today compared to what we were wanting to do, but then we're gonna go to a kind of like Asian fusion restaurant that Connor really likes for dinner. So that's the main plan. Real quick, I do want to say I did finish the first novella in that collection of novellas that I read yesterday, and I am not having a great time. They're great. They're really well written, but I'm not enjoying my time reading them. So I've got the second novella and then the short story still left. I haven't made any progress on that, but I'll probably make some progress on that tonight. But I did just want to kind of give just a short update on where I am with reading. That I did end up finishing those last 30 pages last night, and it was something. It was something. This isn't an experience, okay? It's an experience. But we're gonna keep driving and then go on our hike. Hello, again. So it is Friday evening. It's about 6 o'clock. And I realized I didn't check in with you. Yesterday, our hike that we went on ended up being 10 miles, which was a lot of fun. It was really nice. It was a good time, except my shoes. I don't have hiking shoes. I just wore tennis shoes that are meant for, like, you know, 2 to 4 mile hike run type of thing, not a 10-mile hike through the woods. There's also lots of like uphill stuff, which, like, the views were worth it, but the uphill was a struggle. And yeah, my feet my feet and my ankles hurt so bad. By the end of the time, by the end I was like just dragging myself. But it was beautiful. It was fun. It's a good time. And then we did end up going out to that Asian fusion restaurant for dinner, and we actually ended up having a friend meet us there, which was a lot of fun. So it was a good day yesterday. I didn't get any reading done, but I did actually today, just kind of like throughout the day, I did end up finishing this collection, Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misfortunes. So like I said, I'd read the title piece, you know, the other day, but I read the other two, which are titled The Enchantment. Yeah, The Enchantment, and you'll find it's like that all over. The Enchantment is it's roughly 100 pages, novella length, and then you'll find it's like that all over. It was only about 25 pages, so a short story. Those stories were in the strain of horror that I actually like. They were leaning more towards that way. Still very, very dark. Particularly The Enchantment was very grim and uncomfortable and unsettling. However, while Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke was very overwhelming for me, The Enchantment was a bit underwhelming, just coming off of that, like, craziness of the first one. The Enchantment was much quieter, I guess. It was less disturbing and more unsettling. I think, honestly, I really liked what LaRocca was trying to do with that novella. I think it would have worked much better as a full-length novel to be able to really let some of his ideas have room to breathe. He had a couple of things going on, and I wish we could have maybe spent a little more time on each of them, but honestly, I think he had some really good ideas. And then you'll find it's like that all over was the short story, and I liked it. I have a harder time with horror in the short story format because I really like to have things kind of really creep up on you and really, you know, sink your teeth into the story. I like what that story was trying to do. It really ran with a theme in this collection that LaRocca actually kind of goes into more of an explanation in the afterward. Since those other two stories weren't as disturbing and like horrifying to the point where I wasn't having fun, like how the first one was, I'm not completely turned off to LaRocca's works. I do know he's coming out with another collection of stories sometime next year. Like I said earlier, though, he does have those other two novellas. I'm not looking to pick up anything like soon, but I'm not opposed to looking into his other works in the future. So we'll see. I honestly, because that first story in here I did not have a good time. I could like I said, I could recognize it was well written, it was well done, but I was not having a good time. I really don't think I can rate this because of my conflicting emotions about this book. So I really don't think I'm gonna rate it. I guess I would say check it out at your own, like, with a sense of caution, I guess. Like I said, even though those last two stories weren't disturbing like the first one. I do think I need a bit of like a palate cleanser. I need some like just a nice YA fantasy moment. So I'm gonna finally pick up Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. And it's kind of funny, I was talking to Connor about this earlier, about how, you know, I love Margaret Rogerson. I loved An Enchantment of Ravens. I loved A Sorcery of Thorns. And this has been out for a little while now, and I've had it and I've just been holding on to it and haven't read it yet. Because I've been waiting for the perfect moment to pick it up. And I haven't done it yet, obviously. And I think that this is the moment. This was the moment that I've been waiting for to pick this up. Because it's supposed to still have that kind of like spoopy feel, but it's supposed to be, you know, a YA fantasy. So a good palate cleanser, I think, from the horror that I've been reading lately, especially the disturbing things have gotten worse since we last spoke. So I will be starting this next. Haven't done it yet, but that is the plan.
Ooh, Sarah!
Nice. Huge.
Question.
How OP is Zarya though? What?
Yeah, I felt like I was destroying there with Pocket Mercy.
Dicey? Look at that.
Like that?
Bodies
Copy
never
settings,
done. Where's the copy?
Yeah, where's my damage boost throughout that, Sarah?
I was trying to heal everybody else.
Okay. Does that do damage?
I'm sorry, I'll do better next time.
Okay.
So I did not know how badly Diva hard counters Reaper.
Yeah, you just absorb. Hard counter is Reaper, I mean Farah too, Zarya, Moira. Absorbing those. She can absorb Moira's balls.
What was that?
She's a big ball absorber, Dakota.
Oh.
Hello again. It is about 1 o'clock on Saturday. I just wanted to give a quick update because I've got a busy rest of the day. We're celebrating Connor's birthday with family, so with his family, my family. They're gonna come over in a couple hours, and we are gonna hang out and then go to dinner, and then our city has a local soccer team, and Connor used to play soccer in high school and middle school, just like, you know, all growing up, so he's a big soccer fan. So we're gonna go watch their last game of the year, which is gonna be fun. So we're gonna do that, but I just wanted to give a quick update. I did start Vespertine. I took the dust jacket off, but this is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I'm only about this far, like 56 pages in. I just finished chapter 4. But I'm, of course, really loving it. This is exactly what I was looking for, exactly what I needed. Still a spooky Halloween type of book, but a very nice YA fantasy. And really talk about what this is about. We're basically following this nun, Artemisia. She works in a nunnery where they take care of the dead, because every time a person dies in this world, their spirit gets released and turns into kind of like a ghoul, and so they have to be cleansed in order to make sure that the ghoul doesn't go around wreaking havoc, but then she ends up being able to hold this Revenant relic, and so that's about as far as I've gotten, where she's had to kind of start holding on to the Revenant relic and working with the Revenant. I don't actually know like the overall plot of this. I forgot kind of what the synopsis was about because it's been, and I just kind of wanted to go into it blind, knowing just the general vibes. But yeah, I am already loving it. Like I said, is exactly what I was looking for. So yeah, I'm excited to keep reading this. But I also realized my Fairy Loot box came in today. We just got done walking Toasty. We walked her a little earlier than normal, and I went to check packages, and my Fairy Loot box came in, so I figured I'd unbox this. This is the adult Fairy Loot subscription box, so it's adult fantasy. I actually don't know what the book is in here, so we're gonna find out together, but I'm gonna go ahead and unbox it. I don't even remember what the theme is. I don't know where the theme card is. We've got our nice little book bag. So ooh, okay, already those edges, I'm like, already. Oh, I know what it is now. Okay, I know what it is. I actually don't know what the book is about, though. So the card is Small Town Secrets, and then the book, I'll pull it out. Already these edges is Spells for Forgetting by Adrian Young. And look, I don't know if you can see the edges, like all three are like digitally sprayed. They're so pretty. Let's look at the... Oh, so they must have had issues with the signing because they just put it on here. But these, oh, okay. So there's nothing on the reverse of the dust jacket, which I like art on the reverse, but I like it more when they put art, when they do like stuff like this, which is gorgeous. That's the spine, the back. And then the insides, I like more when they put art here on the end papers. I don't actually know. There's this one. So I will read to you because I don't know the synopsis. I've only recently seen this come about, like on people on Goodreads. I've only recently heard about it. So, I will read you the synopsis and we will hear about it together. It says, Emery Blackwood's life was forever changed on the eve of her high school graduation when the love of her life, August Salt, was accused of murdering her best friend Lily. She'd once dreamt of running away with August, eager to escape the misty remote shores of Sorsha Island and chase new dreams together. Now she's doing what her teenage self swore she never would, living in a quiet existence among this tight-knit community steeped in folklore and tradition, ruled by the seasons and ancient superstitions. But when August returns after 14 years to bury his mother's ashes, Emery must confront her first love and the reason he left so abruptly. But the town wants August gone again. And as the island begins to show signs of strange happenings, the emergence of deep betrayals and hidden promises threatens to reveal the truth behind Lily's death once and for all. From the New York Times bestselling author of Fable, Spells for Forgetting is an evocative, compelling novel of lost love and the unraveling of a small town and its many secrets. Ooh, so this is like a magical murder mystery thriller, I think. I am really excited for this. This sounds so good. It sounds like it's going to be really atmospheric, so I'm hoping that that's the case. But yeah, I'm excited for that. That's really cool. So yeah, I just wanted to give that little bit of an update, but I am gonna go, I think Connor and I are gonna go watch the latest episode of Spy Family. It just came out. We recently started that anime. They're on like the second season, I think. I don't know. We flew through, yeah, they're on the second season because we flew through the first season a couple weeks ago, and then luckily we timed it right so that the second season actually just recently started up. And this is the second episode. It's such a cute anime. It's so fun. I love all the characters. It's great and I adore it. But yeah, we're gonna go watch that and then finish just doing little things to get ready for company. it is Sunday night. It's about 10 o'clock. I meant to update you much earlier than this. But realized I didn't get any like film of the soccer game or any of the fun little birthday festivities yesterday, but we did have a lot of fun with that. Unfortunately, our soccer team lost. It was 0-1, so it was a close game. It was fun. It was a good time. And then this morning, Connor and I met up with a friend and went for a short hike, which I did get some video footage of, which you'll have seen, like, you know, right before this clip. That was a lot of fun at that place. I don't know, my footage probably didn't do it justice, but it feels like something you would find in like a fairy tale. It's so gorgeous. It's so much fun. Really loved that. And then we got a late lunch with our friend and then came home, watched Toasty, and then I like passed out. And so I slept for way too long, and then played some video games with a couple other friends. So I really haven't made much progress in Vespertine. I'm about that far through now, page 104, so I have made a little bit of progress since my last update, but not enough for me to really give any more of an update. I'm still really enjoying it, having a lot of fun. It's made me laugh a couple times. The banter between our main character and the Revenant is kind of fun. They've got a interesting relationship, being forced to work together. But yeah, like I said, I'm still really enjoying it. But I just wanted to check back in and close out this vlog. Thank you so much if you've made it this far for watching my whole week. I've had a really good week. It's been a really good reading week. I finished 2 books and started a 3rd in this vlog, which is crazy. We did a lot of hiking. We just had a lot of fun. It was a good time. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing if you haven't already. But as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!